inflation and like I've argued with so many conservatives, and I'll ask, where do you think the inflation came from? And not a single one will bring up COVID. That's like crazy to me.
Well, it came from COVID first, and then was it Russia and Ukraine, right? Because it goes up a little bit. And
Russia, Ukraine probably influenced it a bit, but COVID absolutely was if I had to guess, pulling numbers on my ass, I'd say like 90% from COVID and like 10% from Russia. The whole world shut down. There's two things that people don't understand. Is one, not only were there lockdowns, which were real, but absent lockdowns, as much as conservatives try to mindfuck you, a lot of people were sick. And a lot of people like didn't want to go to work or work. Like at the height of one of those COVID, I don't remember if it was Delta or Omicron. At the height of one of these, like every single person in my chat knew like 3 or 4 people that was sick. There were so many people in my chat, in emails, and Twitter. They're like, yeah, half my office has called out sick this week. Like half the people in the office are not here. COVID was having a huge impact on people. I'm not saying they're dying and it's the worst disease in the world. I'm just saying that there were a lot of people that were getting sick and shit. Yeah, it's crazy. So
that like looking at I don't know if you can get the numbers up, but looking at COVID and inflation in 2020, 2021, I think it's going up by like 3, 4, 5, maybe 6%. Then it comes down a little bit, and then it's the mid 2022 is when you had that huge spike just after the invasion. But are you saying that's also because, like, I guess after lockdowns ended, you still had reorganizing of the economy and that affected?
There's probably some of that going on too, but actually, one thing is you guys might have been more impacted by that than the U.S.
UK was fucked by it.
Yeah, yeah.
Energy costs.
I do think energy costs were fucking you guys hard. I don't know how much of that was from Russia, Ukraine. Another reason is because, like, for instance, like that Nord Stream 2 pipeline was never even running, right?
I don't think so.
Is Nord Stream 1, does that go to Russia? I have no idea.
I don't know.
Like how much, when they shut off when they started sanctioning Russia, was that like a huge source of energy for Europe? Because I do know that people, like, I remember Canute, this is an anecdote, but Canute was complaining that, like, I think his, like, cost for energy was like 5x in Norway for some time. So
it was like that back home as well. Yeah, because I think people had to. However, I don't know exactly like which pipeline or whatever it was coming from, but yeah, it did.
Hold on.
Some countries were a lot more dependent than others as well. Especially the UK.
COVID doesn't increase inflation. Biden's spending policy did. Can you please, can I just give you guys one piece of advice? If you don't believe me on anything else, anytime somebody wants to talk about economics and talk to you about macroecon, if they ever utter the words that like the Federal Reserve is bad or we need to go back to a gold standard, or anything, like, please just ignore this person has literally nothing of value to tell you. You're being lied to. Just please don't ever believe people that say this.
I don't get this. Like, why do I admit I did this myself with the fucking, because I feel like I should have known. I should have known that incumbency was dead for you in this year. I should have known that. Sure. But how do Americans always act as if the rest of the world doesn't exist? They're so good at that.
Because we're America.
Yeah, what the fuck? Like,
well, there's 2 reasons.
How did America cause inflation, but they handle it better than any other G7 country, but then they managed to spread it and those countries had it worse? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I'm so unbelievably disappointed that crypto bros and Silicon Valley have gotten involved in politics because it's brought back like a stronger resurgence of this autistic fiat currency is bad bullshit. And like people won't stop and think for like 2 seconds, why does every single country in the world use a fiat currency if it's so fucking horrible? If gold standards are so great and so good, why wouldn't one country change back to a gold standard and destroy the rest? Like, it's such a stupid fucking idea. And it's the people that have no concept of what central banking is and what the point of having a strong currency, or by the way, it's not even good necessarily to have a strong currency. Sometimes it's good to have a stronger currency, sometimes it's good to have a weaker currency. These things aren't inherent or intrinsic to a fiat currency. It's just so, but it's okay. Okay. It's okay. The
How
last
do you
thing that you
navigate
just
this
said,
post-truth society going forward?
Well, I mean, we've always fucked that. The United States, one, we're geographically isolated, so it's harder for us to see the impacts that any other country is having. So because we only get it through our media. And then 2, we're so huge that there are like so many things for us to keep track of in our own country that I think it's harder for us to be more aware of like what's going on outside. Not that that excuses it, but that's probably that.
Yes, because
bring up the inflation chart for the moment the U.S. dropped the gold standard. Oh wait, bring me up a price of gold chart pegged on the USD. Oh wait, tell me if the price of gold has outpaced any other fucking equivalent or cash equivalent or stock equivalent investment in the U.S. market or in any market or in any world fund. Colanus, how about you actually open a single investment account in your entire fucking life and look at your annualized average returns over decades and tell me who the fuck is investing in gold? You can buy gold right now if you want, dipshit. If you want right now, you can buy all the fucking gold you want. Every conservative scammer, there's a reason why. Hey, you know what? You know who doesn't have to advertise? You know who doesn't have to go on the radio and say, please buy my ETFs? Please, can you buy my index funds? They don't have to advertise. You know why? Because it makes money. You know who does have to go on the radio and beg you to buy their shit? Is people that scam you with gold. Please buy our fucking gold bullion. Blah, blah, blah. Why would they have to advertise if it's a great investment, if it's beating the market, if it's better? Like,
I feel like like left wingers need more like little bits. The fact that you can always just rely on like a Ben Shapiro video or Tim Pool or whatever to offer you gold, it's like it's consistent. You know, it makes people comfortable. That's what people crave, isn't it? People crave the consistency of gold. It's not consistent at all, I know, but I mean, it's consistent in the sense that it just kind of stays there. Fucking.
Please explain how you don't cause inflation in reserve currency if you print money and import goods with it while you have a trade deficit. First of all, a trade deficit doesn't even necessarily lead to inflation. Number two, please explain how you don't cause inflation in reserve currency if you print money and import goods with it. I mean, like there are so many different factors at play here. Like, it's theoretically possible to import so many goods that the cost of everything falls, even if you, like, there's so many different levels at play here. The most frustrating thing arguing with crypto bros or these new like tech retards that talk about inflation is you guys think that when you print money, there's inflation, and when you don't print money, there's no inflation. Like, that's it. But it's not. Like, the simple version of it is like number of dollars or number of people chasing a certain number of goods. But there are ways to like produce so many more goods that the cost of goods falls. There's ways to influence the demand side that causes prices to rise or fall. It's more complicated than that.
Yeah, it's as simple as you said. Like, you can borrow money and then use it to invest in production of goods that would produce so many of them that they drop. So. But that's why, like, economists, as far as I know, I don't know much econ, but I'm pretty sure economists still argue endlessly about different theories of inflation, because I feel like every inflation crisis that happens, like, will vindicate one person and fuck the other person's theory, and then the next one will do it to other people in the other direction.
Sure. Inflation is just expansion of money supply. It's not higher prices. That's just effect. I've never heard that in my life. I'm pretty sure inflation is literally just prices, not expansion of money supply. Like, you can have inflation with a static money supply, theoretically.
Like, if you have more money supply, but there was an effective demand issue before that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Or like, let's say that we're buying oil, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say that there's 10 barrels of oil left in the world, and you buy one, and then you buy the other, and then you buy the next, right? Like, the cost of sequentially, like, every next barrel of oil is probably going to cost more because the rarity of it is increasing, even without increasing any of the money supply whatsoever. So, I mean, like,
how do you think tariffs are going to work? What's he going to do? Is he going to fire away
immediately? There's like a good 50% chunk of me that believes that there's no way.
There's no way he's going to do it.
There's no way.
Last I heard, they want at least some of it to go through before the end of January, which is quite quick. As far as what you can do, I think with executive action, you can tariff, 15% if you say there's a national security issue, but
I have
that's
no
vague.
clue how that, yeah.
Yeah, and the rest would all have to be an act of Congress. But given that, I think apparently Iran tried to assassinate Trump or tried to get him assassinated before the election.
Sure.
He can, I don't know how much, well, he can just connect Iran to other countries and just say, this is national security, let's tariff them. But you just don't think he's going to bother?
I'm hoping there's enough people next to him that tell him, like, hey, this would be like a horrible idea, and then he won't do it.
Well, if he's self-interested, he would hold off, because he can just.
I don't know. I don't know how stupid he is.
Yeah.
I don't think Trump is intelligent when it comes to anything relating to politics. I don't know if he's intelligent when it comes to anything related to anything. Mm-hmm. So the idea that he would not do tariffs because he knows it's bad, I don't think he knows it's bad. I think he might genuinely think it's like a hammer that can fix every single fucking problem.
Yeah, but I think what I learned from that, there's a Bill Barr interview relating to January 6th where he said, like, the way that he was able to get Trump to do things or to move off of things was to always show how it's in his own self-interest. So if someone can convince him that if he just rides the current trajectory that was set by the previous government, he can just take credit for all that and then, like, win a supermajority in the House and Senate in 2022 and then do his tariffs then. But it all just depends on how much someone can convince him that it's good for him to do that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, some businesses are already preparing, aren't they? They've already started buying in bulk. I think there was one company that isn't paying out bonuses this year because they were just buying in bulk to prepare for the tariffs.
Maybe, I don't know. I haven't heard that yet. Do you know who this Corey Peltzman guy is?
Oh, yeah, he's a fucking retard. He's been saying this to me for like 2 years now.
That's kind of weird.